how do you, when the other person is creating all this chaos and all this drama, what techniques can you use to shut that down?
Well, I think the first step is to figure out what the source of this is. And I have come to believe that the source of the need for people to have drama in their life has to do with their sense of meaning in their life. So they want their life to be meaningful. They want their feelings to be of consequence. And so what we tend to do is we create conflict because we want to feel important. We want our lives to feel like they mean something, and you can see that it's kind of like gossip, right? Mm-hmm. Now, how do you feel when you're gossiping? When you've got when you're dishing the dirt, what's the feeling you have inside? Mm-hmm.
I would say mostly a feeling of superiority, right?
Right.
A feeling like you're better than the other, like just like right now, like I'm talking about him and it's like, oh, he's being all drama. I'm not, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Being able to identify why, people behave this way, like they're trying to give their life meaning and all that. One of the things that moves you in towards is a first step towards what, like we always say about reframing. Thomas talks about that a lot, about reframing things and being able to feel more charitable towards the other person, right, so that you're not destroying your relationships as a result of the drama. Right.
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where George, somebody said he was at a party and he was eating all this shrimp and some guy says, well, the ocean called, they're running out of shrimp. And he didn't have the good comeback until later. And then he spent the rest of the show trying to find a way to get that comeback.
Yeah.
The jerk store called, they're running out of you.
Yeah, that was the line, wasn't it? That's funny.
And he was upset. His whole obsession was to be able to say that zinger. And, where does that come from? I mean, don't you do that? Don't we do that? Don't we sit around and
replay the conversation?
Replay the conversation and think, now, what would I say if they said this?
What should I have said?
Yeah.
And then it comes to you after the fact and you're like, oh, I wish I'd thought of that.
But it's drama. It's the need to, in a sense, prove yourself worthy or prove yourself superior to that other person.
Yes.
And that's the part of it, because drama destroys everything.
Yes.
It destroys everything it touches.
Right.
So in the context of divorce, we have a perfect theater for this to happen.
Right. All the components are there.
Right. You have the
perfect storm. If the other person is the one creating all the drama, then it's really hard for you, especially if, when this is somebody that you've been married to, had a relationship with, had a kid with, whatever. Yeah. Very hard to then extricate yourself from that because you have a pattern established of that dynamic. Right. Just like me and my ex, we had this pattern established of where I engage. If the drama was directed at somebody else, I engaged in the drama with him. If the drama was directed at me, I had conflict with him.
Yeah.
So it was me engaging in the drama either way because he was bringing it. So
and he knew what buttons to push to get a rise out of you. So we want to figure out what's the key, what's the key that unlocks the door to freedom in this situation.
Right. So how do we become a drama destroyer? I always say the first thing is block them.
Block them. Have boundaries.
Yeah. Stop responding. Block them. Whatever extreme. I mean, like with my ex-husband at this point, I just stop responding because our emotional
block him.
Our emotional level is not such at this point that 15 years down the road that I need to block him to get peace. If I just stop responding, that ends it. Right. And with a lot of people, it will. I've had multiple clients that are like, wow, I'm just surprised at how much better I feel just by doing that one thing.
What is the purpose of what I call the nastygram? The purpose of the nastygram is to elicit an emotional response.
Right, to poke you.
And so basically, we want to communicate in a way that does not give them the payoff. So it's not so much that you don't get upset about the communications, it's that you don't show them that you got upset.
Right. You can we have a long ago podcast episode that was called something like "Don't Act the Way You Feel."
Right. Or never let them see you sweat.
Right. Like you can act a certain way without actually, or you can feel a certain way without actually acting on that behavior. That's exactly what we're teaching kids to do when we're disciplining them. It's like, you can be upset with me, you can be angry with me, all those things, but you can't hit me. You can't,
yell at me or be disrespectful.
Right. It's the same theory.
Right. And you can't let the kid know that they pushed your buttons.
Right.
That's the death knell.
Right. And it is with your ex too.
Right. You got to treat them like a 3-year-old.
Maybe that's what we should have titled this episode. Treat
your ex like a 3-year-old.
Yeah. This is hard to do in a lot of ways because this is, like I said, was such our pattern in the marriage of sharing everything with this person. But the faster that you can stop the drama, the faster you'll have peace, the faster that you'll actually feel separated from that person, because having the drama is like having all the bad parts of the divorce with none of the good.
Right.
You've got to hold those boundaries and be able to, not engage in the conflict, to not escalate the communication. And honestly, sometimes also saying no.
Right.
There are times where, the things that he would ask of me would just create so much extra burden on me that I wanted to say, no, I'm sorry.
Again, like the 3-year-old, sometimes you have to say no.
Right. And I can't help you with this. And but it's hard. It's hard when the 3-year-old's like looking at you like, "Mommy, please," and you're like, "Oh," and that's kind of how it feels. But drawing those boundaries is the only way that you can maintain your own mental health and well-being, so that your children at least have one, and you have a drama-free home. And if you have kids, that they have at least one home that is drama-free. And I think that's been a big thing for your kids, is that we've had a lot less chaos in our home in a lot of ways because, well, my kids are grown now, so that helps. It's just you, me, and and your kids. So there's a little less chaos in the house. So part of it is doing the work to get yourself grounded in who you are, because when you first come out of that relationship, especially if it's been with a narcissistic person, you've had your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-confidence, all of those things completely torn down and destroyed. And then you come out of it, and that's why you're engaging in this drama, is because you don't have the internal fortitude to stand up to it. And I think that's a great point that you make.
Right. So, find who you are.
Right.
God has put each one of us on this planet for a purpose. God don't make no junk, as somebody said. I don't think that's in the Bible anywhere, but it's true. I
don't think the word junk's in the Bible anywhere, no.
But the idea is that your life has a purpose that's a divine purpose.
Right.
And you have to find out what that purpose is and follow it. And I guarantee you that purpose is not fighting with your ex.
Right. Not engaging in the drama.
Right.
Amen. All right. Amen. So I don't know. We've said that a lot in a couple episodes. The last few episodes, we've had a lot of amens at the end, so they must be good. So I hope you're taking this in.
Hallelujah.
All right. So if you're listening to us on YouTube, sorry, I'm losing my social media today. If you are listening to us on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button on this video and subscribe to our channel so that you get notified as more videos come out. If you are listening to the podcast, please rate and review us wherever you're listening to us, so that it helps us it helps other people find us, and helps other people with this information as well. And we appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands.